Yeah, good morning, dear students. Today we shall discuss a few points in this, a few more points on the topic speaking skill. In our country, English serves as a valuable link language. This uh, this English helps us as a link language, and many of us use this language for link. That means as a link language. Many of our Indians are bilinguals or trilinguals, and while speaking, they mix up their own mother tongue with English, with their own mother tongue with English, and they may liberally express their ideas using many styles and varieties of spoken English. Many styles and varieties of spoken English. Sometimes it becomes necessary for interaction between persons to communicate in either in English, in English at their work spots, pastime, leisure, and travels, get-togethers, parties, and at the time of interviews. Okay. To be able to speak correct English, we should improve our language. We should improve our language. While speaking, we should remember some points. We should use correct pronunciation and correct stress. We should use correct pronunciation and correct stress. We must be able to make a conversation. We must be able to make a conversation using basic courtesy formulas, basic courtesy formulas, conventional greetings, and other expressions. Conventional greetings and other expressions. We should ask as well as answer questions. We should ask questions as well as we should answer the questions. And maintain conversation and dialogues with our partner in conversation. With our partner in conversation, right? And we should have a stock of vocabulary. We should have a stock of vocabulary and acquire fluency and accuracy of speech. We should have a stock of vocabulary. At the same time, we should acquire fluency and accuracy of our speech. To be fluent, one should speak applying the basic rules of grammar. To be fluent, one should speak applying the basic rules of grammar unconsciously and automatically. Unconsciously and automatically. And we should use correct pronunciation and appropriate intonation and stress to indicate statements, questions, and feelings. To indicate statements, questions, and feelings, we should be able to use correct pronunciation and appropriate intonation. That's why. For developing good speaking skill, we should be mindful of sounds in English language. Those are vowels and consonants of English language. As we know, there are 20 vowel sounds and 24 consonant sounds. These 20 vowels can again be classified as pure vowels and diphthongs. 12 are pure vowels and 8 are diphthongs, right? 12 are pure vowels and 8 are diphthongs. Okay, remaining 24 sounds are consonant sounds. Okay, these 8 sounds and 12 sounds consist. These vowel sounds consist. These 8 diphthongs and 12 pure vowels, or we can say monophthongs. And we should understand the stress. We should understand the stress. We express ourselves in words, phrases, and sentences, which can be divided into thought groups. You see, we should know the stress. Okay, generally, yeah, stress. Under the stress, we have to discuss some points. We express ourselves in words, phrases, and sentences. Here, stress is the force with which we utter a sound or syllable. Stress is the force with which we utter a sound or a syllable. A sound or a syllable. It is the process of giving prominence to a syllable in a word or word in a sentence. It is the process of giving prominence in a syllable, to a syllable in a word or word in a sentence. Okay, for doing so, air is ejected from the lungs with a particular effort, which determines the prominence of syllable or a word. Okay, we know that there are two types of syllables we can say, strong syllable and weak syllable. Strong syllables and weak syllables. We know syllables are of two types, strong syllables and weak syllables. A strongly stressed syllable is uttered more loudly with some force than the other. A strongly stressed syllable is uttered more loudly with some force than the other. Right? So now we have two types of stress. We have two types of stress. One is syllable stress, another one word stress. Okay, or we can say word stress or sentence stress. Okay, whatever it may be. Okay, generally in a word, a syllable be stressed. In a word, a syllable be stressed. In a sentence, a word be stressed. In a sentence, a word will be stressed. Okay, so that's why in the word there is a syllable stress. In a sentence, there is a word stress. Okay, so syllable is a word or part of a word pronounced by a single effort of voice. First, we should know what is syllable. Syllable is a word or a part of a word pronounced by a single effort of voice. For example, for, can, walking, doing. These are all the individual words which we utter with single effort. That is syllable. Okay. There is a variation in stress on syllables in English. Okay. Let me discuss a few examples. There are words of two syllables. Let us begin with a two syllable. Okay, we can find more examples. Okay, there are words of two syllables with the stress on the first. Okay, if it is a single word, single syllable, then surely the stress may be on that particular syllable. But in any word, if there are two or more syllables, what may be the case? What are the clues to remember? Okay, what are the shortcuts to remember? There are words of two syllables with stress on the, there are words of two syllables with stress on the first word. There are some words of two syllables. There are some words of two syllables, okay, in which the stress is on the first syllable. For example, doctor, doctor, sister, sister, finish, finish. Okay, the syllable, the stress is on the first syllable. Doctor. Okay, that word has two syllables. Doctor, doctor. The stress is on the first syllable. Sister, sister, sister. The stress is on the first syllable. Finish, finish, finish. The stress is on the first syllable, right? So there are words of two syllables with stress on the second syllable. There are words of two syllables with stress on the second syllable. For example, again, 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 again. Okay, the stress is on the second syllable at ga sound. Again, again. Another example, mistake, mistake, mistake. Okay, there are two sounds. Mistake, two syllables. Mistake. So the stress is on the second syllable. Take. So mistake. Okay, another example, believe, believe. The stress is on L. Believe. Okay. There are words of two syllables with a stress on both. There are words of two syllables with a stress on both. 16, 16. Upstairs, upstairs. Unknown, unknown. There are words with three syllables with stress on the first. There are words with three syllables with the stress on the first. Holiday, holiday. Photography, photography. Holiday, photography. Okay. There are words with three syllables. There are words with three syllables on the second syllable with the stress on second syllable. For example, dictation, dictation. Tomorrow, tomorrow. Dictation, tomorrow. And there are words with three syllables with the stress on the third one. Understand, 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 understand. Okay, the stress is on the third syllable. Yeah, there are words of four syllables have usually the stress on the last but one. Words of four syllables have usually the stress on the last but one. That means the third one. For example, education, educate, education, 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 education. Okay, the stress is on the third syllable K, like education. And pronunciation, pronunciation. The stress is on she, pronunciation, right? In this way, there are syllable stress in words. There are syllable stress in words. Okay, now the word stress in sentences. The word stress in sentences. Generally, content words are stressed and the structural words are not stressed. Generally, content words are stressed and the structural words are not stressed. That means nouns, adjectives, main verbs, and adverbs are stressed. Nouns, adjectives, main verbs, adverbs are stressed. Whereas articles, prepositions, auxiliaries, conjunctions, and personal pronouns are not generally stressed because these are functional, these are structural words, and the above are content words, right? Structural words are, in the sense we can say, functional words. Words with more than two syllables, sometimes words with more than two syllables have primary stress and a secondary stress. Okay, so in such words, there is a third kind of stress beside the strong and weak stress. It is known as secondary stress, or it is an intermediate between strong and weak stress. An intermediate between strong and weak stress. For example, examination, E. At the beginning, E, there is some sort of a stress, E, but not complete, not a strong stress. Examination, examination, examination. Okay, examination. Here, ja, beginning. Okay, there is a low stress, but at the end, there is a strong stress. Okay, examination. Okay, prepositions. P, prepositions. At the beginning, there is a stress, but not strong stress. Preposition. Sh, sh. There, shun, shun. There is a stress. Preposition, right? So, in a sentence, words are differently stressed. In a sentence, words are differently stressed. For example, let me take an example. He is my uncle. He is my uncle. That is a statement. Try to understand how different words may be stressed based on different purposes, based on our intention, right? Okay, if you want to say that he's your uncle, then you must stress on my. He's my uncle. He's my uncle. There you must stress on my to show that he is not uncle of others. He is not uncle of somebody else, right?